Here's a quick look into today's episode.
Being all in it. Obviously, like, sometimes you're not going to be, like, fully in it all the time, but, like, for the most part, you shouldn't have, like, doubts about either myself or, like, anyone else if they're, like, fully there for the team. We're playing this for fun, so, like, you don't have to do it.
Like, you don't want to be the teammate that's, like, always serious or, like, always, like, super negative, being like, this is what we need to do better. And I feel like, so there's a place for that, but there's also a time and place to, like, this is supposed to be fun. At the end of the day, like, we play volleyball because we like to play volleyball.
Like, a big thing for myself and, like, what I want from other people for a good teammate is, like, being respectful. People who are, like, giving respect to you, I feel like you grow your respect, like, having that respect for each other and, like, knowing what each other are going through, knowing, like, when to be honest and accountable for each other.
I've always thought, like, a positive mindset, even going to, like, Beast and at school and then also on the volleyball team, being positive is something I've always tried to embrace, just because, like, you know, at West Point, things can get, like, pretty negative pretty fast. So I think being positive, it just makes people, like, want to be around you, want to, like, play for you, play with you. I genuinely think it, like, makes people connect more. If you're positive together, you're wanting to accomplish something.
Being able to be, like, a impact teammate, you're able to look out for, like, each of your teammates. You, like, have a connection with each person, being able to, like, know what, maybe if they're having a bad day, being able to help them, or kind of just being able to have that relationship with each person and not just kind of leaving, like, some people out. Like,
I mean, I definitely feel like it's kind of not a shock, but it's almost like a realization point. It's like, okay, this is like a very real possibility. Like, when we graduate, we will get deployed and we'll have to go fight and win our nation's wars. Like, it's something that's like, okay, this is actually like a real possibility now. If you're either like deciding on coming to West Point or like you're still at West Point, it's like you should be like 100% in on being in the Army, because we're about to probably have to go back and fight. So like, you should be 100% in. You want everyone in your team to be like 100% putting all their effort into this, so you don't want people that are like half-assing.
Specifically for me going to Beast, I didn't really know a lot about the Army, but I think it's it's a good thing not to know anything going into Beast. I think once you get there, there's so much information to take in and learn, but I think it's honestly good to, like, kind of embrace, like, learning all of it and, like, not knowing any of it, because it was all so new to me. So it was kind of just like a bunch of new stuff getting thrown at me, but it was also like I'm learning everything new. Don't be stressed about not knowing anything. It's kind of a part of the whole thing is not to know anything.
I would say Colonel Schnack.
That was mine.
Okay, you can talk about her too. Yeah. She's our head OR, which is like an officer representative for our team. But she's just like a good role model, like, all around as a person, like, out of the Army and in the Army. Like, she's like genuinely there for us, like, no matter what. Like, a lot of people say, like, oh, you can come to me for whatever, but she genuinely is gonna help, like, with whatever you come to, helping us, like, any, like, issue, like, big or small. Like, she's there to, like, find someone to help. And then she's just a good role model of, like, a woman in the Army. Like, she has a whole family. Her husband was also in the Army, and
I feel like it's just like the days are gonna feel long, but it's like you just gotta one foot in front of the other, one meal at a time. You just gotta make it to, like, lunch, just gotta make it to dinner.
I just feel like Ashley, she's just, like, always there, you know. She's a very steady, grounding person. Like, you can go to her with any of your problems. And she, you know, she's, like, graduating this year, and I feel like she's accomplished so much, and she's just, like, she'll always be there for you. So it's like, that's who I, like, kind of want to impersonate as a leader, is to kind of be more like Ashley.
Welcome to another episode of Teach Me to Fish, where our purpose is to help leaders better understand what drives people. In today's world, the core of recruiting and retaining talent revolves around leadership. And not just average leadership, but motivated, values-based, inspirational leadership. Our purpose is to get a little bit better every day. Progress equals small victories and stacking habits. Habits like getting up early, working your butt off, learning something new, being positive, and surrounding yourself with phenomenal people. The whole, like, the purpose of why I created, like, the Teach Me to Fish podcast was that I wanted to help leaders better understand what's driving people, like what drove people to serve, what made people want to join the Army. But then I used other things like sports, sporting teams, coaches, you know, because what drives people helps leaders, like, figure out, you know, for this type of generation or for this type of person, for the difference between talking to a man and talking to a woman, right? Good leaders can kind of go back and forth from all those things. And what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to, like, do all this research and then put all this research together and put it into a 10-page paper. No one's going to read a paper that Matt Leclair wrote, right? Except maybe my mom. Like, they're the only person that's going to read my paper and, like, that was great. you know, but I wanted people to hear it directly from the people that they're going to be serving with, you know, and there's a lot of leaders out there. They're going to have you guys out there as their lieutenants, and some seniors that are graduating soon. So that was the whole purpose of it. And so what I wanted to do with you guys today was to talk about like your first couple of years at West Point and what it's been like directly from you, and had the similarities between like being on the volleyball team and being with the volleyball team, and then like figuring out how is this kind of the similar to like being on a team in the Army, right? So like that's where I want to start off with, is like, before we even do like introductions, like what's your first couple years been like at West Point?
Okay, I'll go first. I think for me personally, I think it was like difference with being able to like time manage everything you're doing, just because there's like they're piling so many different things on top of you to do, and like that's the whole point of West Point, is to kind of like give you a bunch of different things, like to figure out how to manage all of it. So I think that was like my biggest struggle at first, was just figuring out how to manage everything and like figure out what I needed to do at first and then do next. But I think it's kind of helped, like especially being a yuck this year, like my second year, it's easier now to kind of like plan what I'm doing, figure out like when I need to do each thing, and kind of like have a better schedule for my day. As like last year, I kind of was just like, remember something I need to do, I would do it, and then kind of just like bounce between things, but didn't really have a schedule for anything.
So you think you're getting better at it?
Yeah, I'm like slowly getting better at it. I think as the years progress, it'll get better.
Yeah. And you're only going to get more and more responsibility as life goes on, and you'll have to manage even more and more, more and more things.
Yeah.
How about for you guys?
I mean, I feel like the same thing as Kale. I feel like when you're a plebe, you're just trying to get through it. Like you're not, like, you're only really responsible for yourself. And I feel like Kayla said, they do it on purpose. Like, it's not like an accident that you have like 3 papers and like 4 WPRs in the same week.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely all like sat down and they're like, okay, this is like, they call it like a Thayer week. Like, this is going to be like a Thayer week. And so like, they just do that on purpose because like, you're going to have to do that obviously in the big Army. So they're doing it now when it's like, I guess like less, it's like a low stress situation.
Yeah. You threw out like 3 acronyms that I don't even know what that means. You know? And like, you know, that they always make fun of us in the Army, and they're like, it's all acronyms and it's all these terms that nobody knows what the heck you're talking about. And like, yeah, the people that go to West Point know what some of those things are, you know, but like, you know, people like me, the ROTC folks out there, shout out, like, you know, we don't know what half those things are, but we do know what time management and, you know, everything gets crammed into the same time. How about you guys?
Kind of like a different note. I think it's like fun to see like people like find their identity like throughout, because like when you start off as like a new cadet, you're kind of just like, especially for people that don't have like any military background, you're kind of just like going through the motions. But then like as you go throughout like plebe year and like as a yuck, you're like a team leader, you like actually have like not like you didn't have a purpose, but like you have like a purpose to other people, and like you're trying to like navigate how you're gonna like have your experience and like, what you're gonna do, because like everyone has like their different reasons for coming and whatnot, and like reasons for staying. So it's like trying to like figure out your own like path, which I think is cool.
I love that there's already like a commonality about, you know, the second year you're kind of responsible for somebody, and it just goes to a whole nother level. You know, as an enlisted soldier, like it's one thing to have to take care of yourself. You made it through basic training, you got to pass PT test. But as soon as you become like an E4 or an E5, you know, I'm using acronyms now, and like but like you're now a sergeant, and like you have like 2 or 3 soldiers that you're responsible for. It can be like a game changer, you know, and all of a sudden you're like, I didn't realize how important this was. You know, what's been like the biggest impact for you?
I was gonna say like plebe year is like such like survival mode, you know. I feel like I'm just checking things off a box, like just going through, and it's like, okay, that thing's done, now this next thing. And like going into yuck year, I was like taking on the role of team leader. It was like, I don't know, it was kind of hard to balance at first, because it's like as a yuck, you're supposed to like kind of have your life together, and you're also supposed to be taking care of this plebe, and it's like, I don't have my life together, and I'm supposed to be taking care of this plebe. And it's just like, you know, they'll ask you questions, and I'm like, I don't know the answer to that. But you have to find the answer, and you can't actually tell them that. And then I'm like, it gets a little stressful sometimes. But like, honestly, like I had a really good plebe my first semester. I like loved having her. Shut up, my plebe. I loved having her as a plebe. I think she was great. So she like made my life a little easier, I would say. But yeah, that was my biggest like moment where I was like,
will all of you have a female as a plebe? None of you would get, or you would.
I've had 2 guys.
Yeah. Okay. And when you mean by two, you've had two at the same time or different? It changes every semester.
Yeah, it changes every semester. So my first one he was actually prior in like
Yeah.
cyber. So he was pretty locked in, which is like good for like being in season and stuff. But he also like helped me like learn a lot about like what he saw beforehand, and then going to West Point, like it was a weird shift for him. So that was like interesting to hear. And then my second one, he's very military, safer. So he got like the Gaffy thing. I'm not really sure like exactly what it is, but yeah.
That's the German badge?
Yeah.
The Ruck March badge?
Yeah, all the shooting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now what I do want to do is now we've heard all your voices, and like I do want to take a second to introduce yourself, who you are, where you came from, and like what drove you to West Point. Go first, Kayla.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Kayla Bandy. I'm from Frisco, Texas. And the main first reason that like drew me to West Point was like I found out about it because of volleyball. So through volleyball getting recruited, I was like, oh, okay, West Point. My parents were obviously like, oh, this is a great opportunity. So I went on the visit, and then when I was on my visit, that's when I kind of learned more about what West Point was about, like what you did there, what you did after there. And I think the main thing that ended up like making me choose West Point was the opportunities after. Like I feel like at other colleges, you don't really know exactly what you're doing after college, kind of what jobs you're going to have. So I feel like being able to have a job right out of college and just like all the opportunities that you have is kind of something that was unique to other colleges. And then also people always talk about it with West Point, but like all the people you meet while you're there, like all the coaches, all the different teachers I met, and just the players I met while I was there, I feel like it kind of showed me like it was a good community. It was a community that I wanted to be a part of. And obviously like choosing West Point, I never really thought I was going to be in the military. So kind of choosing it was like a big step for me. But I think I kind of knew deep down that it was like something that I needed and kind of a change in my life that was going to be different, but like honestly needed like to kind of help me grow and get opportunities throughout life.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. How about you, Tatum?
Yeah, I'm Tatum Grimes. I'm from Olathe, Kansas, and mine's similar to Kayla's. I honestly like didn't know about West Point before being recruited for volleyball, and once they started like reaching out, at first I was like joking with my teammates like, oh, like the Army like staffers like hand me his business card, like, oh, it was like a joke. And then I got on the phone call with him, and he started like basically like selling the school to me, and I like learned like more about it, and I took my visit, and it was just from there I feel like I couldn't pass up the opportunity, like kind of like Kayla. Like I knew, like even when I was like younger, I knew I wanted to do something like more than just like go to college, play volleyball. Like I don't know, I just thought that was boring. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, like major wise or like a job or anything like that. So West Point kind of like helps like guide you or like helps bring like that out of you. And yeah, I just wanted like something where I could like play sports and like do academics and not like have to hinder one of them.
Yeah.
That was always something my mom wanted me to do, is like keep academics like there, because like that's always going to be like you need that for the rest of your life. Like volleyball is going to end no matter what. So yeah, and then serving, like I feel like people have like different levels of like, oh, I really want to serve, so that's why I'm at West Point. But for me, it's like I'm learning more about serving, and so it's like getting me more excited to serve. So it's like finding my like, I don't know what the word is, but,
well, you said that you said that you didn't have anybody in your close family that served.
No.
Yeah. So you're like the service part of it, like being responsible for other people, having to deploy, moving every couple of years and doing that at where it's necessary. You know, those are the things, those are kind of the sacrifice comes with service, and and it does become like motivating, you know, and it's a big reason why a lot of people stay long term is they feel like there's no way I'm going to be able to get this same feeling, you know, maybe outside the Army. You can, but that you feel that way. So they get really scared to leave, you know. Nicole.
Okay, I'm Nicole Stroud. I'm from Fort Texas. And so when I was like looking at colleges, I feel like I was kind of like floating, or like I didn't really know where I was wanting to go, what I was wanting to do. I really didn't even know if I wanted to play volleyball in college. So I was just kind of like looking at a bunch of different options, and I feel like it was like, I was like, I don't even know. But then I kind of heard about West Point, and I talked to my mom about it, and it kind of like, you know, I was like grew up in like a small place, like a small world in Texas, I feel like. And West Point, like for the dreams and like things I wanted to achieve, West Point seemed like my only like out, like my only path to those. Like going to other colleges, I was like, I feel like I'm not gonna be able to like find the opportunities to like get out and like actually like do what I want to do. And so West Point honestly just felt like the only way to that. And so I was like, I'm just gonna go to West Point, like even if I don't like it, like I have 2 years to like figure it out. And then like volleyball came afterwards, like talked to like Julia and Stafford and Alma. And then I was like, it kind of like all fell into place. And I was like, you know what, like it's all put together. So I feel like this is like what I'm supposed to be doing or supposed to be taking my life to. And I got here and I was like, this is like great. I love the people. I've made like some of my lifelong friends here, like teachers, coaches, everyone. Like it was just like genuinely, I couldn't have imagined myself at like a better place than West Point. So, I mean, that's kind of my story to it.
Hey, before we go to Ryan, I just want to say, like, you know, you guys have been with us now for spring break and you've been here for a few days. And I swear, like, as soon as we started talking, like, you guys just flipped like a switch. And, like, all of a sudden you got more serious. You got, like, a little bit more professional. Like, I'm just saying, like the way you guys are talking right now, like, I can absolutely see, like, how like West Point like told you like there's a time for volleyball, there's a time to have fun, there's a time to go to the beach, and then there's a time to be serious. Like what I just wanted to tell you guys was like it's noticeable like that you guys just got a little bit more serious. Like I guess as soon as Ryan said we were recording, like everybody got like more serious, locked in or something like that.
Good comms.
Yeah. And I see it when I watch you guys play on TV, you know, like it's so different to watch you play on TV. Like, holy cow, like there they are, like on TV playing volleyball in a championship game, you know, and you guys are so locked in. And like now, like if this was a recorded video, like, you know, the coaches, like you'd be proud. They're like being like serious and like, you know, you guys like flipped the switch, you know, and I noticed it. So. Well, I'm appreciative, you know. So. Okay, Ryan, tell us.
I mean, I have my reasons. Shout out Podcast 55, the best decision I ever made, if you want to listen to my reason. But it's kind of the same as Nicole's. I mean, I wanted to go to one of the academies, and I heard back from West Point first. And then, you know, I got in contact with Coach Alma and Coach Julia and Coach Stafford, and I was like, hey, I'm coming. You want me or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just ended up on the team. So.
Yeah. I think there's probably more to that, and we'll get to it as we go through. But like, I appreciate you guys taking a second to tell us like who you are, and if at any point like if one of those kind of stories of why you joined, what you're looking forward to the most. This is more of a conversation, so you don't have to. There's not like a wait till this point of the conversation to kind of bring those up. We talked about like some of the biggest surprises or like the biggest impact that you had like in the first year like of being at West Point. What's been like the biggest impact, you know, or the most impactful experience like being on the volleyball team so far? We'll start on this side. Ryan, you go first.
I mean, when we came in, there was a lot of freshmen in our class, and there was only like 7 upperclassmen. And so they kind of told us when we came in, they were like, okay, you guys kind of are really important to build the culture because there's a lot of you, and this is basically a really new team. Like our freshman year, we were the youngest team in the NCAA just because there were so many of us. And I feel like that was kind of a lot on our shoulders where we had to almost not rebuild, but like kind of build the team culture that we were going to carry throughout our 4 years. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool because we got to set that culture and then bring these new freshmen into it.
Yeah, the freshmen that are here because you guys are, you know, and we call them sophomores, you know, like in the real world, you know, and you guys are all the same class, right? Yes. What has been for you guys like the most impactful experience being on the volleyball team?
I think what Ryan said, like building the culture, because I know it wasn't like terrible before we got here, but it was definitely something they were working on. And I think like being able to do that, and a lot of this made like an impact like on the court. Like we had a pretty good season this year and last year, and like be able to do all of that like as our class, like I feel like we did carry a lot of weight on our shoulders and we did it like pretty well. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
To think about.
Well, when you said we did pretty good. What is Nicole? What's pretty good? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, we got second in conference, which like going into the season, we were a brand new team. And I feel like not that many people expected a lot out of us, especially when we went into conference play. Like people were like, oh, well, they're a brand new team. They're not going to really, like, click together,
Yeah.
I feel like. So, like, to get second in conference, like, that season, I think was a testament to, like, some of the upperclassmen because they worked so hard, like, building the culture that we had and, like, building our team chemistry. And, like, I feel like that team, we were just, like, so, like, meshed together really well. And so, like, we just worked really well together, so we were able to overcome a lot of things, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, I mean, it's not normal. Like, both years, right, in the conference championship, like, 1 point away from going to the NCAA tournament, right? And so, like, you're like, oh, man, we gotta get there. And now you guys got 2 more years, right? Mm-hmm. After that, what's been your most impactful thing that you've...
I think mine's pretty, like, similar to theirs, just how we were a big freshman class coming in. But I think... honestly, something that was, like, really cool to see is how, like, everybody got along really well. I feel like on sports teams a lot, there's, like, kind of different, like, dynamics, and there'll be, like, especially on girls teams, there's, like, drama sometimes. But I feel like with our team, I feel like we all were just, like, good friends. We all got along. Everybody, like, wanted the best for each other, and I think that's something that's, like, really unique and was kind of cool to come into and, like, be a part of, especially as a freshman. And I feel like into this year, it's kind of, like, grown to. We have a new class, obviously, so we've kind of, like, built new relationships and stuff like that. So I feel like it's cool to see.
Yeah, that one of the themes I think that I was hoping this conversation would be about is about teamwork and about what are the similarities between the team, building a team for, say, a sports team, volleyball, and then also building a team in the Army, because you got to work well together. So I think that's a good segue to, like, what makes a great teammate. When you said, like, we work well together, start with, like, what do you expect from yourself to try to be a good teammate?
I mean, I feel like you kind of said it, like, when you talked about, like, how we, like, had a switch and we, like, turned it on to professional. I feel like that's kind of really important to have, because you don't want to be the teammate that's, like, always serious or, like, always, like, super negative, being like, this is what we need to do better. But, like, I do feel like there is a time and place to say, like, okay, this is a sustain and this is an improve. Like, that's what we do at the end of practice every day. And I feel like, so there's a place for that, but there's also a time and place to, like this is supposed to be fun. At the end of the day, like, we play volleyball because we like to play volleyball. Yeah. Like, it's, like, it is, like, our job. Like, that's, like, what we came to West Point for. Like, that's, like, part of, like, what is expected of us. But it's also, like, we play it because we like it.
Yeah. Well, what do you expect from yourself, like, to be a good teammate?
Personally, I think, like, a big thing for myself and, like, what I want from other people for a good teammate is, like, being respectful. I feel like respect is a big thing. And I think, like, people who are, like, giving respect to you, I feel like you grow your respect, like, for them. So I think that's something that, like, I've seen through leaders at West Point and then just, like, teammates, is having that respect for each other and, like, knowing what each other are going through, knowing, like, when to be honest and accountable for each other. I feel like those are all big things that are kind of hard to do, especially with, like, honesty and accountability, but it's something that's, like, necessary for a good teammate and a good leader.
Yeah.
For me, I would say, like, being all in it, like, obviously, like, sometimes you're not going to be, like, fully, like, in it all the time, but, like, for the most part, you shouldn't have, like, doubts about either myself or, like, anyone else if they're, like, fully, like, there for the team. Because, like Ryan said, like, we're playing this for fun, so, like, you don't have to do it. Yeah. So there shouldn't be, like big doubts about whether or not someone's, like, in it for the team or, like, in it.
Sure.
Like, regardless. And same for myself. Like, if I'm ever, like, doubting, I'm, like, I sit back and I'm like, what am I, like...
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Like, why am I complaining?
Like, why would I would be here for that? Yeah. Nicole, what do you expect from yourself, like, to be a good teammate?
I've always thought, like, a positive mindset, like, even going to, like, Beast and just, like, at school and then also on the volleyball team, like, being positive is something that, like, I've always tried to, like, embrace, just because, like, at West Point, things can get, like, pretty negative pretty fast. And it's, like, I don't really like spending time around, like, super negative people. I think it just kind of, like, it's not, like, a vibe I want to be around. So I think being positive, it just makes people, like, want to be around you, want to, like, play for you, play with you. It just, like, I genuinely think it, like, makes people, like, connect more. And it's, like, if you're positive together, like, you're wanting to accomplish something rather than you're like, oh, well, we're, like, losing. What's the, like, point of keeping the go? Keep going.
Yeah. And when you build when a team starts to get, like, brought together, it's called, like, what is your gift? Like, what is the thing that you bring to a team? Like, one person can't be expected to be, like, they're positive. They're also super competent. They're also really good. They're good with their hands. Like, they're good on the court or, in the Army. right? They're good at everything. It's hard to be good at everything, right? It's hard to be and be positive, and never be negative. But you go with what's your gift? Like, what is the thing that comes the easiest to you, and you bring that to the team, and then the leaders of the team, they put together like, okay, this is our positive person. This is our cheerleader. This is our person that's gonna get in there and tell us all the critiques that we need. This is going to be the captain of the team, and a lot of. There's a great book called The Captain's Class, and are you part of the captain's class? And Sam Walker talks about like the best teams like in history, and they all had a captain, that was kind of leading the team. What he also said was like rarely was the captain like the best player on the team, rarely, because a lot of times the person scoring the most points, doing the most work, scoring the most goals, like they had to focus on being good, in those moments. They couldn't do what the other things that the team needed, for them as the captain, So like, what is your gift? What is something that you hope like your teammates do for you to kind of cover for maybe an area that you feel like personally you're not the most strong in? You look for your teammate to kind of cover you on that, or like a captain.
I would just say like making light of like a situation, like I don't know, something goes wrong in practice, or like coach gets mad, whatever. Just like looking to your teammates, like I think our team a lot like jokes about things, like not like a bad way, but like just making light or like making a joke about the situation, so like it's not like the mood doesn't go down too quick. You do a good job of that too. Yeah,
and somebody helps you with that. A lot of times, like you ask somebody, to pick you up. Pick me up when I'm doing this. This is my weakness. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the same thing that Tatum said. I feel like it's like most of the time you just need somebody that's going to be steady, I guess, is like what you would want. Like you don't want like to be dependent on like how you're performing. You want that person, or you want your teammates to be kind of supportive no matter what. And I know that like kind of gets hard, but I feel like that's definitely like something that is really helpful, especially like when you're struggling. But another thing is I feel like for the whole team is like kind of just embracing the suck, which I feel like happens. Like it happened. Yeah. Like they're laughing because they always say, like we always say that when we're at like our summer training and everything. Like it's good. Like it's not supposed to, like that part of it is not like some days aren't going to be fun. Like it's like some days are going to suck, and it's like you just have to like some days it's just like you just have to get through it.
Right.
And I mean like Tatum said, we kind of got to like make light of it, because it's like we have all these like inside, like the reason you have all these inside jokes is because you were like in this like sucky situation.
That's right.
So yeah, I feel like that's kind of like an important part. Like it was just like kind of a bonding experience.
Yeah. Like what you're starting to dabble in is like there's two. There's like the impact teammate. There's like a teammate that can figure out what the team needs and solve some of those problems, and then you have like like the leader, the captain of the team. And sometimes the captain of the team isn't the person doing some of the work. It's identifying that the work needs to be done and finding the person on the team that can bring that to you. What do you think that means to be like an impact player or an impact teammate?
I think being able to be like a impact teammate, you're able to look out for like each of your teammates. You like have a connection with each person, being able to like kind of know what, maybe if they're having a bad day, being able to help them, or kind of just being able to have that relationship with each person and not just kind of leaving like some people out, like having a better relationship with certain people but not other people. I feel like that's a big thing.
Yeah, we started having this thing over the spring season where it's like all love, and then we have this little like hand signal. It's like a little heart. But we started doing that, kind of like the heart thing almost became like a joke, but then like the way that our coach explained it, it like kind of started to make more sense. Like when we started playing spring games, it was like there was this one ball that like wasn't Nicole's, but she like went and covered it because like she's like, it's because you have the love for the person that like you're covering, that you're like, okay, I'm like, I got you this time, but like next time you got to figure it out.
Yeah, like an impact player is somebody that like sees a messy problem or sees something that might cause a little bit of friction, but they kind of do it anyway. They figure out how to solve the problem. They see it ahead of time. They know what needs to be know what needs to be done. What are some of the traits that your coaches have started to implement? Like, are they pushing for you all to be leaders? Do they push more towards the captains to be the leader, and maybe focus you on being more of a follower? What are some of the areas that coaches have talked to you about that?
I think we have like a younger team because we only have technically one captain right now, and she's a junior, like going to be a senior, and then the rest of us are sophomores and freshmen. So I think right now they're trying to just like see how we react with that. Like they're not like looking at like specific people right now. They're seeing how we kind of like fall into like our role, and so just like I think they're just like observing right now, like seeing how we.
Sure.
Because I don't think we don't need like so many people like trying to step up, because like we have like literally half and half of like freshmen, sophomores. So.
That's a challenge when, especially like I think at the academy where everybody's being taught leadership, and then all of a sudden you have everybody trying to be a leader, and sometimes you just need to be a better follower and just let the captain take the lead, let them drop the plans, and then just be a better follower. Yeah. What else has the coaches been told you to focus on?
I mean, we've been focusing a lot on like body language, I guess, and like how you respond to like a mistake. And what we kind of emphasize a lot is like the people that are playing around you shouldn't be uncomfortable or shouldn't have to worry about you, because then if they're thinking, oh, like she's all up in her head, like she's like down on herself, then they're not focusing on like what they're supposed to do or their role in the team. So now they're worried about you, which impacts their playing. So then it's just like a disease.
Yeah,
so it's like
Coach K was that way. Like a lot of the players that played with Coach K at Duke, like by the time they got to Duke, like they obviously knew all the X's and O's, and he had a couple people on the bench that would work with them on that. But all he focused on was the body language and the mental side and keeping you in the right mindset, because the skills are already there. And same thing in your guys' case, the skills are already there. You just got to put yourself in the right mindset.
I mean, again, like what our coach says a lot, she's like, the skills will come as long as like you're coming in, you're giving 100%, like you're trying to make the corrections that the coaches are telling you. Like they're never going to get upset because you're not performing. They're going to get upset if you're not like giving 100%, if you're not trying.
Yeah, I think to go along with that, we've also this spring we've had like morning practices, so we've obviously had to like wake up earlier in the morning and do most of like all of our practicing in the morning, which has been an adjustment. But I think a big thing they've wanted out of us is like once we're down there for volleyball, like we're ready to go, we're ready to start playing. There's no just like walking around everywhere. And I think it's kind of like helped people learn that like you gotta like once you're there, you gotta be ready, like be ready to play volleyball. You can't just like, oh, I just woke up, like I'm not ready. Like even if you feel like you aren't, you kind of have to put that like mentality on that you are ready to start playing and like give your 100% effort in the mornings. That is our only time to like practice volleyball during that day.
Yeah. One of my favorites I saw was the big tax photo of you guys walking through the tunnel, heading to practice, and it's cool because I've known Mike Klepper for a long, long time. So like when I see those pictures that he, puts out and he sees you guys, I get to see you guys walking, to practice, and immediately just all the things start flooding through my head. When you said like getting up in the morning and you got to be ready to go, like that is going to be important in the Army. And you got to be able to, at any moment throughout the day, like it's not a surprise, but like when the sun comes up, like you need to be ready to go, whether it's to come in and do PT, whether it's, you're in the field and, you got to be ready for stand to, and is the enemy coming? This is a good time now that the sun's up, you got to be ready. You can't just be like, I'm tired, and then you got to maintain it throughout the day, and you got to maintain it into the evening. You got to be able to pick it up when the team's going to need you. You need to be picked up. Yeah. Okay. What other traits has the coaches and your teammates kind of been pushing as far as like teamwork, getting ready for this next season? Because next year you guys are going to be a little bit more on the leadership side. What do you think you have to get ready for next year?
I think we do, like how I said earlier, a good job of like being not like nice to each other, but like we're really very uplifting. But I think we need to like do a better job of holding each other accountable while doing that. Because I know like a lot of stuff just, not like a bad way, a lot of stuff just gets like
Brush.
Yeah, like not like it's easy to like point like, oh, this looks bad today, but like we need to like do better, like how are we gonna fix this like as a team, instead of letting the coaches like try and figure it out. I think we need to like address the issue and like fix it, because we have like a huddle at the end of practice like, oh, like good thing sustains and improves, and I feel like we don't get anywhere with it. We just kind of say it and then it just circulates. So
yeah,
I think we can work on that.
Yeah, I think that'll also apply in the Army, toward your team. You can't just say we're going to get better in an area. You got to do things differently to get different results. going forward. Okay. What who has been some of the best role models that you guys have had so far at West Point, whether it's attack or it's, another teammate? Like who's been somebody that deserves a quick shout out as far as like they've been a great role model for you guys? And what was it about them being a role model that you're like, I want to be like that person so far?
I feel like, Mac. She came last spring break, but I feel like, shout out Mac Lynch. But she was really good about what Tatum just said. Like, she was a big problem solver, which some people I feel like saw it as like kind of negative, but I don't think she was intending to be negative at all. I think she was like, this is how we need to fix it. And she was very much like, okay, this is how we're going to fix it. And then like, this is how we're going to know that we like accomplished it. And she was very much a person that you could look to in like, if we were struggling, like she would always like at least try to find a reason. Like, this is how we're going to fix it. And like, she was always a go-to. Like, she was one of the strongest hitters we had on the team. And then she was our team captain. So she did a lot behind the scenes that I feel like we never really saw. And it's kind of almost coming up now that like during the spring when she's not on the team, like, oh, I never thought about this because like Mac was always taking care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think, yeah.
Yeah. Good role model.
I would say probably Ashley, just because like I feel like if I ever ran into a problem, like military wise, volleyball wise, I would like talk to her about it, and she'd always have a solution or like have a way for me to like figure it out. Almost, she was just very like calm and very like grounding. I feel like, because a problem would come up and I'd kind of be like stressed. I'd be like talk to her about it, and she'd be like, well, let's just like this, and I'd be like, oh yeah, like she would make me feel like significantly better about it, or like calm me down a little bit. I just feel like Ashley, she's just like always there, she's a very steady, grounding person. Like you can go to her with any of your problems, and she's like graduating this year, and I don't know, she's just like, I feel like she's accomplished so much, and she's just like, she'll always be there for you. So it's like, that's who I like kind of want to impersonate as a leader, is kind of be more like Ashley.
Yeah, she's also like, I feel like me and Nicole would hang out with Ashley a bunch like during season.
Yeah.
And like she's also just a very good listener. Like she would never like invalidate your feelings. I feel like even if it was like a small little thing, I'd be like, oh, this really bothered me. She'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. And then she'd be like, okay, maybe like this is what we could like do about it. And like, but then she also has that switch where she'll be like super serious, and then she'll like flip the switch and she'll be like, okay, but look at this Instagram reel I just sent you. I'm like, okay, thanks, Ashley.
Yeah. I think what you guys just said makes me think of like 3 lieutenants in a company, because all 3, you two and Ashley, you all play the same position, right? And so needless to say, in sports, there becomes like teamwork, and then there's also like, I want to play. Like I want to get on the court. I want to play, as well. And when 3 of you play the same position, we've all seen it in sports. It can go one or two ways. You either help each other out and everybody gets a little bit better, or it becomes a competition and now it's no fun. Now the drama starts to come in, right? Now it's like, well, I hope that this person struggles so that I can get out there. And the fact that you guys are all play the same position, like that's how it's going to be when you're a lieutenant, right? We notice it. Leaders notice it from a mile away. Which lieutenant is looking out for themselves and wants to get looked at as like the best lieutenant, and which one is looking out for her teammates. And they're like, they see each other, and they're like, they don't see it as a competition. They see, I can help you in this area because this is my strength, maybe administratively. Whereas you're stronger in the leadership category. Hey, what did you say to your platoon or to your unit, in order to get them motivated? And now you become a great team, and each of your platoons are better, going forward, instead of the person that's off to the side that's trying to kind of show off, if you will. I promise you will see that your whole career. And if you find yourself in a unit where everybody's working together, they don't care about evaluations, they don't care about, who's going to get the credit this time? They don't care about that stuff. It's all about the big win. Like, you are in one of the good units right there. And they happen everywhere in the Army. It doesn't matter where you go. Like, there are great units everywhere in the Army. And it's because of the people working, I believe, working together as a teammate that are out there.
Yeah, I feel like, especially like during this season, it was kind of like we were all just almost pushing each other. Not like in competition with each other, but we kind of like, we would we would push each other in practice, and then immediately when practice was over, we'd be like, okay, now let's go eat dinner together. Because like,
Yeah.
it's like we're friends, obviously off the court, and then like we're teammates. So like, it's not like me and Ashley would want Nicole to do bad. Like we want to win the game, and like when she comes off, we're like giving her, like, we're like, okay, this is what we saw. Like, I don't know if you saw this. Like, this is what they're doing on defense. Like, their setter tends to do this. Like, we're trying to help her be better. Like, we're trying to like contribute in a way that like might not be always like not appreciated, but it's like it's not always the most glorious.
Yeah.
Like,
No doubt. That's the way it's going to be in the Army, too. You're going to get put in some non-glorious positions, you know, like called the XO or the S4 or something like that. Like, you're going to find yourself in a position and you're like, this is not glorious. No one's saying thank you. It's so thankless. I promise you will find, if you're good, you will find yourself in those positions. You know, who's been like a great role model for you guys?
Well, I would say Colonel Schnack.
That was mine.
All right, you can both talk about that. Yes.
She's our head OR, which is like an officer representative for our team. But she's just like a good role model, like all around as a person, like out of the Army and in the Army. Like she's like genuinely there for us, like no matter what. Like a lot of people say like, oh, you can come to me for whatever, but she genuinely is gonna help like with whatever you come to. Like not like getting us out of stuff, but like helping us like any like issue, like big or small, like she's there to like find someone to help. And then she's just a good role model of like woman in the Army. Like she has a whole family, like her husband was also in the Army, and she's just like a good like to see like in the future like what could be with like it's just like kids and everything, like living at West Point. Like it's just a good like I don't know what the
it's a good example to see and to see what could be in the future, you know, a glimpse into the future about what it's like if you serve, you know, long term. What do you think makes her a good role
I was
model?
also gonna say about her that I remember I first met her on my visit, and she was like one of the people who really sold me on the place. And like she could have kind of just been like, oh, talk to me on my visit, and then once I came to West Point, like never really like talked to us again. But she's like genuinely, like she said, always there for us, always willing to help. She gives great advice. And like I feel like anytime our team needs anything, she's always there to like help fix it. Like no matter how big or small it is, she's gonna help fix it. And I think it's just, I don't know, sometimes she'll like do certain things where she will kind of talk to us about things or like give us advice. And I feel like it's just, it really makes sense. And I kind of like take it to heart because I kind of look up to her and I feel like she gives good advice about everything.
Yeah. Thanks. And you know, you get a lot of good role models throughout your career in the Army, and you also get a lot of bad examples through the Army, you know, what things not to do. You guys all made a good face right there, you know, so it's like, what you don't have to talk about the person, but what are the things that are just absolutely like, I will not do that. Like whether it's in sports or in the Army, what are those ones that stand out? Go ahead, Tatum. Yeah.
I guess it's just like people like generally just don't care about other people, and like it's clear in like a lot of ways. Like I'm not going specifics, but like just like very like derogatory things towards other people. Like that's just something that I don't
About other people in front of you, right?
Yeah,
So you
and
hear
just
them
like
talking.
in groups, like especially like upperclassmen with like I guess like plebes. I guess they like try and like I don't know. Plebes are so people, but like anyways, like they just like stuff that shouldn't be said about other people. I just don't.
Yeah. What have you thought? It's like just absolutely, I will not do that.
So something we call it like West Point, or at least I've heard it called. It's called like MD farming. It's basically you've never heard that. Oh my god, I hear it all the time. It's basically so you're just doing stuff to like make yourself look better, to get a better like military grade.
Yeah.
So they're just doing things to get a better military grade, which has always like made me mad because like for summer training you're like kind of screwing over like the people you're under you, like your trainees, just so that you can get a better grade. And it's just like you're not connecting to the people around you, you're not actually leading them, you just want to look better to like the people that are grading you. And I don't know, I think it's like ridiculous because it's just like, what's the point of getting a good MD grade if all your trainees are like, man, this person sucks at leading?
Yeah.
Because it's just like you're not actually like getting practice at actually like leading people in the right way. You're simply like, oh well, this will look good like for my grade, so I'm just gonna do it this way. So that's always something that I've been like kind of made me mad about some people at West Point. They simply do things just so that they can look better for themselves, and they're not actually like looking out for the people around them. And I'm like,
Yeah, we've called those people spotlighters like the whole time I've been in the Army. They always like to call it a spotlight ranger. I don't know why it's not a spotlight sapper or a spotlight ranger, but it's always a spotlight ranger, is like the person that's doing that in the schools or in the units or that's out there. Or they do it right when coach walks in the room. All of a sudden they're like, come on, guys, let's pick up the balls. And it's like, where were you an hour ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what were you going to say is one of the things that you're absolutely not?
I was going to say kind of, it's just almost like your presence. Like, you never know where somebody comes from, like who their parents are, like who their kids are, like what, like, I just feel like sometimes it's just like what you say. Like, sometimes people say like something that's just like a little bit, like people look at them sideways. It's like, okay, well, I don't really know like why you would say something like that. Cause like, you never know where people come from.
Why would you be comfortable saying
like, why would you be comfortable saying that to me or like about somebody else that's like going to be like eventually like that's either your teammate or is like going to be like in the Army with you, is going to be your teammate. So I feel like just like the way that we talk about people that are either your teammate or like going to be your teammate in the Army.
Sure.
Just sometimes it's just people don't always say the right thing sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. What do you think are like the biggest similarities so far? 2 years playing volleyball at West Point, and now you've been through, summer training. You're about to go through it again. What's the biggest similarities between being on a sports team and being part of an Army team?
Okay, I was gonna say that I feel like it's like with the accountability portion of it, like on our team we're all friends, so you're gonna have to be able to keep your friends accountable, and like if your friend does something wrong, you're gonna have to tell them that. And I feel like in the Army, whenever you're gonna be working with people you're friends with and maybe like someone who's higher up, but you're gonna have to be able to kind of tell them that something's wrong, what they're doing is wrong. And I think that's something that's hard for people to learn. Like it's hard for myself to learn, like not just if like Tatum does something wrong, I can't just like be silly with her. I have to tell her like that it's wrong.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that kind of correlates between both volleyball and being in the Army, especially.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's like being like the individual aspects. Like you still have to like, even though you're part of a team, you still have to like do your own things right. And so I know it like comes out and like maybe like summer trainings, like there's always the one person in the squad that can't really do much. So I think it's like, well, that's like the beauty of a team is like you'll like get over it, but like I feel like you have to like
compensate for it almost.
Yeah, even though if you're in a squad, like you still need to be like competent in your own stuff because it's gonna like come out eventually. And like same with like in sports, like you can like go so far, like you're gonna like be calling out like sooner or later.
Yeah, like I mean, the easiest one for everybody to just get their arm around is like carry your own rucksack. You have to be able to carry your own equipment. And there's no surprise that in the Army, the equipment is always the same size, but the humans are not always the same size. So like I'm looking at two people right now, one who's 5'3" and the other who's 6'3", and like I've been going through this my whole career too. Like, the bigger guys can deadlift 340 pounds like it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They could throw the ball when we had the ball toss. They could throw that thing like 50 feet, And it was like, but it was the same ball, same weight, same everything for different people. But you have to be able to carry your own weight, is what it is. And it's really hard to be a great teammate when the first thing we know is as soon as we step off, I'm going to have to carry your ruck, or I'm going to have to carry half of the equipment in your ruck, for you. And the analogy of rucksack, just it's anywhere in the Army. It could be in a hospital too, Nicole.
I would just say like being part of a team and being able to like work with the team and communication, I think would be a huge thing that correlates between like volleyball and working on the Army. Just because like during Beast and like just like school projects or like CFT, like some people don't know really how to work in a team. Like I'll be like working on a project with people and they're just like, they just kind of sit there, they don't really do anything, or they try to do everything. And I'm like, it's like a team. We like split up evenly, we can work together to accomplish it. Or like in summer training, like you'll be doing like, I remember in Beast, we did like a radio relay thing. And, some people, like, can't communicate at all. And they're, like, just, like, off in the corner trying to do something. And it's, like, no, we're, like, trying to work as a team. So I feel like that's something that, like, I'm glad for volleyball for. Because it's, like, I know how to work in a team. I know how to be in a team, communicate, like, well with a team. And it's just, like, some people come to West Point, they've never been a part of a team before, ever. So it's, like, they're trying to learn it as they go.
Yeah.
That's something I was, like, happy for.
Yeah, cool. All right. Hey, the next couple categories that I want to go into with you guys is like before we go into like the surprise questions and stuff like that, like, I want to start to get into like a little bit of the reward for the people that are listening at the 45-minute mark, right? Because people like, okay, Leclair's an idiot. I'm tired of listening to him. Like, okay, I get it. I don't want to listen to it anymore. But at this point now, like if someone's still listening, right, they care about what you guys have to say. I want to talk about like a couple serious things. Like, what are your thoughts on like what's going on in the world right now? And has that affected in any way, shape, or form your daily life at West Point or volleyball or life for that matter?
I mean, I definitely feel like it's kind of not a shock, but it's almost like a realization point. It's like, okay, this is like a very real possibility. Like when we graduate, we will get deployed and we'll have to go fight and win our nation's wars. But like it's something that's like, okay, this is actually like a real possibility now. So I feel like if you're either like, I don't know, like deciding on coming to West Point or like you're still at West Point, it's like you should be like 100% in on like being in the Army, like because we're about to probably have to go back and like fight. So I feel like you should be 100% in, like Tatum said. Like you want everyone in your team to be like 100% like putting all their effort into this. So you don't want people that are like half-assing it almost. Yeah,
amen. What about you guys?
Just going off what Brian said, because you asked like how it impacted like at school. It's just like sometimes hearing people's like stances on things. Like I don't think some people like realize like how serious of like conflicts are. Like sometimes like the jokes just what people hear and like what they talk about. So it's just like taking it more seriously and like realizing what exactly it is we're like talking about and like that we could literally be like there. So like just like taking it more seriously. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that since we also have affirmation coming up in August, where we like actually affirm and like you can't leave. But I think it kind of just like puts it into reality. Like once you're committed to that, like you have to be willing to do that and willing to go fight. So I think it's kind of just seeing what's going on. It kind of makes me realize like, okay, this is what you're actually signing up for. You have to be ready for this, and really just being ready to affirm and like actually ready to do everything.
Yeah.
I would say just for me, every time we have like a big brief with like someone, I feel like it gets a little ominous. So like, what are they going to talk about? Like, is it going to be like really serious? Are they going to be like preparing us like when you graduate, you are going to war? But so that's like, I feel like the biggest effect it's have on my life so far is just like kind of like an ominous feeling sometimes. Like you aren't really sure what's happening sometimes.
Yeah, because you don't have the context. Because you in your case, like you didn't have a parent that was going off, on deployment after deployment, and such, right? So you're not 100% sure what. And there is a big there's a big distance between some of the senior leaders that come and talk to you guys and you guys. Like those people have anywhere from 20. Like I got 32 years in the Army, so like there's a big difference between like their experiences and then you jam it all together. And sometimes you could be like, hey, it's no big deal. You've been deployed for 5 years, and you're like 5 years. Like I haven't even been in the Army for a day yet, and you're like, it could be that many years. Yeah, if you add it up over 15 to 20 years of being in the Army, 6 months here, 12 months there, 9 months there, it adds up really quickly. And if you enjoy what you do, like the years can fly by, and by enjoy it, I mean it's not always that it's fun, it's that it's very rewarding to go do something that's very important with a bunch of great people, to have to do it. Okay, so that's what you've been seeing, at the school. Talk more about, like you said, like some of the people, like they're not taking it serious. What is this, like the memes? Is this like a memes page? Is this like is it like the funny videos of like, yeah, we're getting ready to go on deployment, like not serious?
Yeah, it's stuff like that, and it's also just like people. We talked a lot about it in my like American politics class, but it's like looking at what you're looking at on the media, like making sure it's like real stuff that's happening, because some people get like some skewed stuff, and it's just like being aware of like what you're like sharing with other people, because like I know some people, including myself, like don't really look into this stuff a lot, so you hear someone talk about something in class and you like believe that right then and there, and so just like being aware of what you're telling people, making sure it's like correct.
Yeah, because it's like you pulled it off of TikTok or you
Yeah.
pulled it off of Instagram, and you're like, oh, this must be true,
Yeah.
you know, and this is what's happening over there, and you're where you're getting your details from are so maybe inaccurate.
Yeah, especially like when we're like in the military, it's like your friends like see you like liking these like Instagram reels, so it's like they look at you as like a direct, like they must know what they're talking about type of thing. So, I think that's like important to like think about.
Yeah.
Posting stuff.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of mixed feelings about social media and everything that people get off of their phones these days. And they're like, you know, some people are drastic. They're like, absolutely not never going to get on it, never going to use it. And then there's other people that are using it too much, you know, maybe on the too much side of like, you know, they're trying to make some money off of it, or they're using it to just try to be funny, you know, or and such. But if you meet it in the middle, it's like such a great tool, and I believe, in order to communicate what's out there. I mean, we used it during COVID. It was the fastest way to put out quality information, figure out what the facts are, you know, and it's another, and I use it as a tool to figure out what people want to know. What do they need to know? Where are the gaps? What are the things that are making people uncomfortable? What are the things that are making them stressed out? Now, when I go to my unit, I'm like, okay, now these are things I'm going to address as their leader, you know, in those more professional scenes. You're like, these are the things that are on people's mind. So you can't help but find out what the trends are. Are there any other trends that you guys are seeing, you know, because of what's happening right now with the Army and the world?
I mean, they fed us lobster and steak a couple weeks ago. Just kind of, yeah, they did. They fed us lobster and steak for one of the dinners, and everyone was like taking pictures of it. And I was like, okay, we're getting ready to go.
Yeah, you get a big meal.
Yeah.
Off we go.
But yeah, I mean, it hasn't really impacted our daily life at West Point at all.
Okay.
Like, everything's still the same. Like,
They honestly talk about it less than I would expect.
Yeah.
Like, unless you ask your teacher, like, they're not really gonna like go on say unless they like, feel like they should.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys sharing that. And because again, I want to know, like, I want to know how much it's impacting, you know, people's lives, you know, cause when I was a lieutenant, I was in the Army when we the first Iraq war, and we go in, and then like President Bush was like, okay, victory. And it was like, they wanted everybody to just get back to their lives. But then there was so many of us still deployed. And they're like, well, if we had victory, then why are we still here? Like, when are we going home? That lasted for another 18 years, like after that. But nobody puts that milestone in front of you. It's just one day at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time. My first deployment, there was no set months. We were just going to Baghdad, the 82nd, and we're going to go to Baghdad, and then 1st Battalion, we went to Fallujah. We didn't know how long we were going to be there. I thought we were going to be there until the mission was complete. You know, and then they're like, hey, we think we're going to cut it off between the 6 and 9 month mark, and then someone's going to replace us. Like, that was new to us. You know, I was like, I didn't know someone was going to, I thought we were here till we win. You know, I thought I was here like World War II, you know, until this was all over. And, you know, and I think that same thing's kind of starting right now, although it's like, how long are they going to be there? How long are the rotations going to be? Because we still think like Iraq, Afghanistan, we're like, how long is it going to be? I don't know. You know, we don't know how this one's is going to turn out, you know? So I appreciate your feedback, especially when you're like, I would have thought we'd be talking about it more, but you're going to get, it'll slowly start to kind of come in, right? You're going to slowly start to get more things. And I think people are a little bit nervous. They don't want to put their reputation on the line to say, this is how long it's going to go, or this is how much it's going to be, you know? But when you become a leader in the Army, your soldiers are going to ask you. And it's okay to say, I don't know, but you also have a little bit of an obligation to learn a little bit about it so that you can help them better understand it, you know, as you go out there. Okay, we talked about that. Now I want to do a couple, like, just kind of like call them funny, call them surprise, you know, questions and stuff like that. What's your favorite memes pages that are out there right now?
Ooh. Like for West Point?
Anything, right?
I mean, I think it always pops up on my feed. It's like Sunday recall memes.
Oh yeah.
I think they're pretty good. But I mean,
the mess hall ones that go.
The mess hall slides.
Yeah, those are actually kind of funny because they're like very West Point specific, but they're like, you'd only understand if you were like there.
I've never even heard of either one of those. Yeah.
I think the drunk old grad, he posts some good
he's
stuff
good.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff.
Yeah. I remember when you asked me when it was time for the Army-Navy game, the football game, you asked if Servant of Leaders was going to be there.
Yeah, he's good
Did
too.
you see him out there at the Sandhurst recently?
I think he was at the one last year.
But he wasn't there this year?
I think he might come to the international.
Yeah, the big one at like
He
the
comes
end
to
of
the
April.
Okay, the
a lot
big one.
A lot more people come to the big one.
All right. When's the big one?
It's in April.
End of April, beginning of May.
Because
That's
like
what I'm told.
the one that they just did was like all the West Point Sandhurst company teams
Okay.
like compete to see who gets to compete against the international people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What do you guys think are the best units in the Army?
Honestly, like, don't know enough about to say something.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah.
I mean, I hear a lot of good things about the 82nd,
Yeah,
like the 101st,
Yeah.
and then obviously 75th. But like,
Okay.
I feel like that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
All right.
pretty much all I know.
That's what those are the ones I hear about the most, probably. So those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that because like those are the leaders that served in those units are a lot of the ones that come and talk to you guys and speak to you, or is it the patches on the wall? Like, what makes those ones stand out to you?
I don't know. We just hear a lot
I
about
think it's just the ones that like people at West Point always like say they want to go to.
Mhm.
Like,
Okay.
a lot of the guys like, oh, I want to go to this. Like, you know, like they kind of it's always
Yeah.
the ones
Sure.
I want to go.
I mean,
to.
the 82nd and the 101st were the ones that were at our summer training
Yeah,
for the past
that's
2
it.
years.
Okay.
So like those are the ones that we've like interacted with the most.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. What are the posts that everybody wants to go to?
Germany.
Yeah.
Anything in Germany. I think.
A lot
Yeah.
of people
A
like
lot of
How come?
international.
I think it's just because it's international. People like to like get away.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Try something that
Yeah.
they.
Try something different. I feel like a lot of people have the mindset like they'd rather like go somewhere far when they're younger, and
Yeah.
as they get older, like
Ah.
come back here.
Yeah.
Okay. For when you start like a family.
Yeah.
You know, now it's time to kind of bring it back. What other posts?
I feel like sometimes it depends on whether or not like whether you want to go like somewhere cool or you want to go to like a not that it's not going to be a good unit or like you want to go to like it depends on like what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes I feel like some units obviously are better at different things. So like obviously like it'd be really cool to come to Hawaii, but it's like you might not get that opportunity.
Yeah,
with,
depending
like,
on your branch.
Yeah, because there might only be
Yeah.
like one slot for Hawaii
Yeah.
in like your branch when
Okay.
you're doing post night.
Okay. All right. What do you guys think about the Patriot League this year? How's this going to go?
I'm hyped.
Yeah.
So hype.
I think it'll be similar to last year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably.
Who's the other teams to beat?
We're really looking at Colgate and American.
Yeah. American has
Yeah.
a new coach. So that's
Oh yeah. They have a new
Yeah.
coach. And they have a new facility too that we get to play.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I'm so excited to go to their new facility.
Yeah. How about Navy? How many are you guys? 4-0.
4-0.
4-0 against Navy. Okay. We're gonna keep that going.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll
All
try.
right.
I mean, we like last year they came out with like a video. They were like, our only goal for this season is to beat Army.
It's so
We were
Oh my
like,
God.
our coach was like, okay, that's not our only goal for this season. But sure. And then like we beat that. Like they were it was like that was the first Patriot League game.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so we beat them, and then we were like, okay, you might as well just end your season now.
Yes.
If that was your only goal for the season, like you kind of
Yeah. Even their
Yeah.
warm-up shirts, they
Yeah.
just said "Beat Army."
like ours.
Like, oh.
Yeah,
We have like
Yeah.
relentless pursuit
A
or something on
relentless
ours.
pursuit.
Okay. What's your favorite? Like, what team? Other sports teams do you guys have the best relationship with, or the most fun to be around?
I would say
Or go to
probably
the games.
women's lacrosse.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Just I mean, like my roommate's on women's lacrosse, and like she'll tell me she'll be like, she's like she had class with Kayla, she had class with Vicky, and she'll be like, my teammates are hanging out with Kayla and Vicky this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said like we're friends with some of them. They're like a really good team too.
Yeah.
Like,
Did they
they're
just
like-
beat Yale?
They did.
Yeah,
they just upset.
Yeah.
Shout
They've
out
had-
women's lacrosse.
Yeah, they've had two really
Yes.
good wins, but yeah, they're really good. They're like ranked really high
Yeah.
nationally too.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
been a couple teams out there that beat. Was it the men's lacrosse team that also beat somebody that hasn't lost in like years?
I think so.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Like who's the tax that everybody wants to have?
I mean, your tax kind of changed. Like I've gotten a different tack like this past year,
Uh-huh.
and I feel like not that I haven't noticed a difference, but I feel like most tacks kind of are just like solid. Like,
Okay.
they do
Most
the
are
job.
about the same.
Yeah, I don't really like know the other tax either.
Yeah.
You kind of just like know your company's tax, and then maybe like some of the people like your battalion,
Mhm.
but then the other tax you don't really like, interact with or ever see. What
Okay.
they do.
All right. How about the professors? Is there anybody that's out there that's to stand out that everybody wants to
Dr.
have?
Somerville.
Yes.
Major Moreno, a lot of us had her for psychology, and she's one of our ORs on our team now. We really like her. She's
Okay.
I had Major Lewis for
Major Lewis,
psychology.
yeah.
I love
Lewis is
Major
good.
Lewis having her as a teacher. I don't know.
I think me and Nicole both have the same stats teacher right now. Lieutenant Colonel Craig.
Yeah.
He's an interesting.
great.
He's an interesting character. He like was in, and then he got out for 15 years, and like got back in.
Is that the picture that Mike?
Yeah, that's the
Lario
picture. Yeah,
sent
that's
me
the
the other
picture
day?
that somebody sent you and was
Okay.
like, "Do you know this guy?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "That's my stats teacher."
Yes.
No, but
Yeah,
he's
I
really
love
good.
getting those.
I think he does a really good job of emphasizing. He's always like, "You think you have so much time at West Point, but you don't. Like you're gonna blink and you're gonna be in the army."
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
But
He
he's
gets back
really
into
good
the
at that.
army.
He's like, okay, like I know, like he always emphasizes. What does he do at the beginning of class?
He just
With the
what's the one?
well, like the inspections.
Oh yeah, he does like a very in-depth inspection. We like focus on one thing specifically, and like they go around and inspect the one thing. It's been shoes a couple times.
Yeah, and then-
shoes are really bad.
Oh.
So I was like, oh,
My shoes don't look very good, but that's okay. I'll fix them.
Yeah.
But he always emphasizes. He's like, this is not. He's like, is this gonna win the war?
Yeah,
It's
he's
like silent. He's like, no, it's not. He's like, but this is important. Like people are
Yeah.
gonna look to you and they're gonna be like, people are gonna look like your leader's gonna look at you and be like, she has her shit together. Like, or he
Right.
has his shit together. Like, look at that. Like, if you need like an example of like what right looks like,
yeah,
that's
yeah. He's like, you think
Yeah.
I really care about? No, I don't really care about
I
the
know.
regs, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Was there anything that you had hoped we were going to talk about today? Like you had hoped that this would come up in the recording, in the podcast, that we didn't talk about yet? Or are we just ready to get back out to the beach? Go get Tatum a new phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we hit everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate this today, to sit down and just to hear directly from you guys and to share it with as many people, that are out there, because like you come from, 4 totally different places, like a lot of different reasons for choosing the Army, a lot of different reasons for, your sports teams and sharing that with us. What are you looking forward to the most over the next to finish off this semester? What's out there that you're looking forward to get back, finish this off, and then you're done, second year complete?
My classes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
finishing the
Ready to
classes.
be done.
Yeah, I gotta get
Yeah.
do that and tease. And I guess
Yeah.
like we got our summer leadership details. So like
Yep.
I think me and Tatum are CFT 2 squad leaders.
I'm also
You're also
CFT
Nicole
squad
as
leader, yeah.
well.
I got CFT
CFT
one, and then I also got slotted for air assault.
Ooh.
So it'll be
Let's go.
it'll be something.
Yeah.
But
That's some of our teammates.
Yes.
some new teammates.
Shout out KJ.
And
Shout
some
out
new
KJ.
teammates,
Shout
yeah.
out Annette.
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, it'll be good. I think something that we could talk about is like maybe for our incoming freshmen, like maybe like what they like could expect, or like what maybe like they should keep in mind as they go
Okay.
into Beast, or like anyone about to go into West Point.
All right. Go.
I don't know. Kayla looks like she's gonna say something.
Oh, well, I had something. I was gonna say, I feel like specifically for me going to Beast, I didn't really know a lot. Like, didn't really know a lot about the Army, but I think it's it's a good thing not to know anything going into Beast. I think like once you get there, there's so much information to take in and learn. But I think it's honestly good to like kind of embrace like learning all of it and like not knowing any of it, because it was all so new to me. So it was kind of just like a bunch of new stuff getting thrown at me, but it was also like I'm learning everything new. So I think it's kind of just like, don't be stressed about not knowing anything. Like, it's kind of a part of the whole thing is not to know anything. You need to be able to learn all of it.
Yeah.
I also say Beast especially, like, don't let that be your, like, first impression of West Point. 'Cause it's, like, that's not anything like it is. Like, it's meant for that. It's, like, the reason is just, like, get you into, like, the groove, I guess.
Yeah.
So don't let that be, like, the reason you're, like, doubting your choice or whatever. It, like, actually does get better from there. Yeah.
I feel like it's just like the days are gonna feel long, but it's like you just gotta. It's like one foot in front of the other. Just like one meal at a time. You just gotta make it to like lunch. Just gotta make it to dinner.
It's just like, it's such a game you play the whole time, I feel like. And I feel like I took it so seriously and I was like stressed out the whole time. When in reality, afterwards, I was like, it was not that serious. Like, like the people leading you are like 2 years older than you. Like, they're basically your age. and like they don't really have it figured out.
You could literally do like the bare minimum.
That's gonna be
I don't recommend, but like you could literally pass like I don't recommend, but like coast through.
Yeah.
Volleyball season.
Yeah, and volleyball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's one, you want to keep your little, your journal, keep your notebooks out there and like make a note of them like for freshman year, sophomore year, and then as your first couple years in the Army. And then as you get older in the Army, like you'll look back, you'll reflect on them and you're like, I don't know why I treated it this way. And when you give people advice, going forward, you got to be careful about things that worked really well for you, because maybe it won't be as easy for them, And so like sometimes you're going to find that all of our Army paths are so different. And so if you say this is the way it has to be, like you must do it this way, well, that might not work for other people. It might have worked out for you, but it won't work out for them. So as we give people, I give people advice, I get asked all the time, like, how do you get through Ranger School? I went through Ranger School a long time ago, so like there are different things that like, there are some things that are the same, but ask somebody who just got through. So like, how do you get through air assault school? Ask somebody who just got through. Like, that's the person that you want to go to and figure out like what you need to do to be successful. Maybe not somebody that went 25 years ago or something like that. I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited to watch you guys throughout this season, kind of growing up. I'm excited to watch you finish the next couple of years as well. Know that like you said, it's one step at a time. Like you don't know where your Army career is going to go. It's just like volleyball, like one game at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time, and just kind of make the best decisions that you can with the information that you have and do the absolute best at whatever, the Army, in this case, people are asking you to do. That I think is, the best advice for anybody is just take the moment that you're in, the week that you're in, and get through it and give it your absolute best. And then we'll jump on to the next thing when we get to it. If you keep doing that, you will start stacking these,
stacking good habits.
Stacking habits, but you'll stack good victories, like these small victories in your life, and you'll be able to look back and say, this is what I did at this moment. This is what we did at that moment. But if you're always looking kind of too far in the future and you're like, hey, I just got to half-ass this and just get through it. I just got to do this and it'll be okay. You're going to have 5 years of like average things, and when people look back at you and they're like, that's my lieutenant, you want to be able to be the lieutenant that they look back and go, I know how to get through this. I know how to get through that. I did this school. I know what it's like to get through air assault school. I know how to get good grades. I know how to do those things. And then you can help them. And you'll be the person that they're looking for out there. So I know there's a couple years before it, but, I'm looking forward to watching you guys over the next couple of years, as it goes. So thanks for doing this with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening today. I hope we sparked some thoughts about the people that have inspired you to be who you are today. I hope you share some of your thoughts and better yet demonstrate them for the people in your life. Our pursuit is to get a little bit better every day. Progress equals small victories stacked on top of each other, building like compound interest. Keep stacking these positive habits. Habits like getting up early, working your butt off, learning something new, being positive, and surrounding yourself with phenomenal people. Please share your comments at the links in the show notes and DM us at Teach Me to Fish podcast on Instagram or Facebook. Looking forward to our next conversation.